finish a draining day, you collapse on the couch and grab your phone just to switch off for 5 minutes. Poof! An hour vanishes into a scrolling black hole. You tell yourself you'll go to bed early to catch up on sleep, but then you stay up watching Netflix until 1 a.m. Not because you're enjoying it, but because you don't want tomorrow to start yet. We like to think we're making conscious choices, but if you are already burned out, you aren't choosing, you're actually reacting. For years, I felt like a passenger in my own life. I wasn't lazy. I was high functioning at work, but completely on autopilot at home. I couldn't understand where my energy was going until I discovered four hidden system errors that were secretly draining my battery. Once I identified them, I built a simple method to take back the controls. And today I'm going to hand that manual to you. The first hidden habit isn't just scrolling too much. It is a biological reaction to stress. Picture this. You finally close your laptop after a brutal 2-hour Teams meeting. Your brain is fried. You feel heavy. And before you even consciously decide to take a break, your hand is already unlocking your phone. You didn't make a choice. Your nervous system just ran a script. This is the dopamine loop. In the corporate world, we are constantly under pressure. Our brains are wired to seek relief from that pressure. And modern tech offers the fastest, cheapest form of relief available. It's not just a bad habit, it's actually a reflex. You feel the stress, that's the trigger. Your brain demands a quick hit of numbing entertainment. Now that's the craving. And you scroll, that's the reward. The problem is that this quick relief actually destroys your ability to focus. Every time you soothe your work anxiety with a 10-minute scroll, you are training your brain that distraction is the solution to discomfort. This saps your willpower and makes deep work impossible. You aren't just wasting time on social media. You are actively eroding the mental resilience you need to survive your 9 to 5. This exhaustion leads directly to the second habit. And if you work a high pressure job, you likely know this one intimately. It's called revenge bedtime procrastination. Here's the psychology behind it. You spent 8 to 10 hours today giving your energy to your boss, your clients, and your team. Then you spent the evening giving energy to your family or chores. By 10 p.m., you haven't had a single moment that belonged entirely to you. So when you should be sleeping, a rebellious voice in your head says, "No, I am taking this time back." You stay up watching Netflix or doom scrolling, not because you aren't tired, but because you are desperate for autonomy. It feels like you are reclaiming your freedom from the corporate machine. But actually, that's a trap. You are trying to buy back your personal time using a credit card with a massive interest rate. The interest you pay is your energy for tomorrow. Science confirms that this specific type of procrastination destroys sleep quality, meaning you wake up tomorrow already in debt, more tired, more stressed, and less capable of handling the day. You aren't winning your time back, you're just stealing it from your future self. This creates the perfect storm for the third habit, the sleep debt spiral. In the corporate world, we have this toxic belief that sleep is a luxury, or worse, that sleeping less proves how dedicated we are. We treat rest like it's the first budget item to cut when things get busy. But here is the brutal truth: sleep debt destroys your emotional armor. When you engage in that revenge bedtime procrastination that we just spoke about, you aren't just losing hours, you are losing your resilience. You wake up fragile, a slightly rude email from a client that you'd normally brush off suddenly feels like a catastrophe. A minor setback on a project feels overwhelming. Your brain, desperate for a quick energy fix to survive the morning, craves the easiest dopamine source available. So, what do you do the second you wake up? You grab your phone. You are tired, so you scroll for stimulation, which makes you late and more stressed, which ruins your sleep for the next night. You aren't just tired, you are operating with a compromised operating system. And that leads us to the final, most ironic habit of all. The fourth habit is the energy void. This is the biggest lie we tell ourselves after a long day at the office. You finish work at 5 p.m. You feel completely drained. And you tell yourself, I am way too exhausted to exercise. I need to sit down to recharge. But this is a paradox. You feel exhausted not because you did too much physical work, but because you did too little. When you sit in a chair for 8, 9, 10 hours dealing with high stress mental tasks, your brain is running a marathon whilst your body is in standby mode. This creates a mismatch called sedentary fatigue. You feel heavy and lethargic, but this is a fake fatigue. The energy void traps you because you think resting on the couch will fix your energy. It won't. It only deepens the slump. The only way to generate energy is to spend energy. Movement isn't a chore you add to your to-do list. It is the biological reset button that clears the mental fog and breaks the procrastination loop. If you stay still, the burnout wins. If one of these four habits, the dopamine chase, the revenge procrastination cycle, the sleep debt spiral, or the energy void feels uncomfortably familiar, pause for a second and type the one that hits you hardest in the comments. Naming it is your first act of taking power back. Now, let's talk about how you can quietly rewire your workday and your evenings so these habits stop running the show. So, the solution isn't to be more disciplined or to bully yourself into changing. You already do enough of that at work. The real solution is to quietly change the system around you so your habits have no choice but to follow. Here's a simple 4-step method to take back command of your own brain, even if you're stuck in a demanding 9 to 5. Step 1: manipulate your cues. Instead of relying on willpower in the moment, change your physical environment. Don't just promise yourself you won't use your phone in bed. Physically remove the option. My sister bought me a basic alarm clock last year, and now my phone sleeps in another room. It sounds small, right? But it broke my midnight scrolling habit instantly. Do the same at work. Create a no phone zone for the first hour of the day. Put it in a drawer so you can't see it while you open your laptop. Right now, I'm doing a January challenge where I don't touch my phone for the first 30 minutes after waking. And it has really changed how my mornings feel before I log into my email. Step 2, activate your reset ritual. When you've been in back to back meetings all day, the gym is the last thing on your mind. So don't aim for the gym. Aim for something so small it feels almost silly. A 15-minute walk every single day. That's it. Treat it like a non negotiable meeting with yourself after work. As I've shared in previous videos, my after work ritual is walking my dog. That 30 minutes is my pressure release valve. It clears the mental noise from the day. It stops me from carrying work into my personal space. This walk is the keystone that makes everything else easier. Step 3, replace the response. You can't just tell yourself, don't scroll. After a long day, your willpower tank is empty. So decide in advance what your stress move is going to be. Think in simple workplace terms. When X happens, I do Y instead. So, for example, when I close my laptop at the end of the day and feel the urge to collapse on the couch with my phone, I will first make a cup of tea and sit outside for 5 minutes. Or when I get into bed and want to start another episode, I will instead put on my audiobook and close my eyes. You're not trying to become a perfect person. You're just swapping one automatic response for another that actually restores you. Step 4, shift your identity. In corporate culture, it's easy to label yourself, I'm just a procrastinator, or I'm the burnt out one on the team. Those labels become cages. Every time you choose a tiny different action, you're casting a vote for a new identity. When you leave your phone in another room, you aren't just sleeping, you're becoming the kind of person who protects their peace. When you go for that short walk after a long workday, you're becoming someone who takes their energy seriously. Be careful with the way you speak about yourself. Those jokes about being always tired reinforce the very spiral you're trying to escape. Start talking to yourself as someone who is learning to manage their energy, not someone who is broken. For years, I couldn't understand why I felt so drained, even when from the outside it looked like I was successful in my career. But underneath the job title, my energy was being secretly drained by four forces: the endless dopamine chase between meetings, the late night revenge procrastination that stole my sleep, the sleep debt spiral that left me emotionally thin skinned at work, and the energy void from sitting all day and thinking it was rest. You are not those habits. By changing your environment, committing to one simple movement ritual, and choosing better default responses to stress, you can dismantle the system piece by piece. You don't need to become a superhero of willpower. You need a gentler, smarter system that supports the version of you that you actually want to be. That's how you stop feeling like a passenger in your own career and start driving your life with intention. If this resonated with you and you're ready to stop letting these hidden habits quietly run your day. Hit subscribe and stick around. We're building a space for professionals who are done normalizing burnout. You have more power than you've been led to believe. It's time to start using it. And remember, you matter.